Good morning. Our hand today is going to be pocket jacks. We're five-handed. This is a 10NL game. Under the gun limps. Villain 3 raises, and it's on us. Villain 1's playing 74% of hands. I only have 26 hands on him. I do have some notes. So he posted in the cutoff, and then he raised 5 big blinds with a king 10 off. We've got him calling 2 bets from the blinds with 10-4 suited, jack 6 off. I think this guy's range is just pretty wide. I gave him something like this. It could be even wider. It could be 100%. Who knows? But I gave him that range. Villain's a little bit more reasonable. He's playing 32-10. He could be adjusting here for Villain's wide range, so he could be raising wider than typical. So on the button, he plays 21% of hands. Pre-flop raises 10. He has 18% raise first in. This isn't technically a raise first in, but versus this one limper, you could probably consider that it is. We have raise with previous limpers. We have 13%, but it's 2 out of 16. So I think he's got a wider range than 13%, but probably not as high as that 20% VPIP or 21% VPIP. So what I looked at was something like this. This is 18%. I think 5s plus. I think he's going to be raising those. He's going to be raising his broadways, some suited aces. Maybe he doesn't raise with all suited aces, but I think he's going to be more on a stronger side. So less of the junk down here, more of solid hands up here. And then it's on me. So he raised to 3.5. Jacks is definitely strong enough to 3-bet. And if we look at small blind versus button range, all of this in the red is a 3-bet. So I've got the 3-bet set up here. We do have some 3-bet bluffs. We don't know a huge amount about Villain, what he's going to do. If his range is wide and it's just always going to be wide, so he's going to look for just seeing flops, or will he actually tighten up versus a raise? We just don't know that. So I think we just play our hand as we should, which is to a raise. This is definitely in our 3-bet range, kind of smack in the middle. We're actually at a higher end. We have overcards that could come. It could be scary. Now he bet 3.5. We should be betting at least 12, maybe 13. We're making a larger raise because we're going to be out of position, and if we just fold everyone out, that's okay. But we want to take advantage. Not take advantage. We don't have an advantage by being in position. So we want to apply more pressure to get some folds, and then if we get called, we're probably going to be leading again because we made this 3-bet. So I raised to 12. This Villain folded, so yeah, he must have had some pretty crappy junk. And then, since we have the hand, the button called. So is he going to call with all of his range? Maybe. Maybe his fold to 3-bet stats 25%, so he can fold. That's 1 out of 4. I'm going to look at this and say, out of the hands that could probably fold, maybe these small aces. Yeah, small suited aces, maybe these 1-gappers. We're going to leave like ace-9. No, we're going to take that. We're going to say ace-10 and probably that ace-10 off. Let's take him out. So let's give him a range that looks something like this. All right, so we go to the flop of ace-queen-9. That doesn't help us, but hold on. We got to go back to here. He didn't 4-bet. So since he didn't 4-bet, we can remove some hands. All right, minor computer problems. But as I was saying, we narrowed his range, but since he didn't raise, we can. He didn't 4-bet it. I think we can eliminate some hands. So I think we can eliminate queens plus ace king. I'm going to leave some queens in here. We're going to kind of give him maybe like 50% chance that he has it. Not everyone 3-bets with queens. We'll do 70%. We'll say like 30% he would have raised with queens, but I think the rest he would have re-raised. So we can eliminate those, and then that kind of makes me think maybe I have to put in some of these suited aces again. No, I think we'll just leave it here. We'll just leave it there. All right, so the flop comes ace queen 9 with 2 diamonds. So yeah, that doesn't help us at all. Not with our jacks. We do have a diamond draw, backdoor diamond draw. However, we have to consider that we have aces in our range. We have queens in our range. Villain 3 probably does not because he didn't 4-bet us. We have ace king. I don't think villain does. I think we both have ace queen. So I think we both have range and some nut advantage here. So since we 3-bet, I think we are going to be c-betting, and we're going to be c-betting here with a somewhat higher frequency. So we're looking at we've got our draws. Those are our draws, flush draws, open-enders, 2-card backdoor flush draws. And of course, some of these are pairs. So I think those are all value hands. That's a draw. I think these are value hands. I think we are bluffing with these bottom pairs, middle pairs. Middle pairs is somewhat value too. Gut shots. Yeah. I think we're just c-betting 100% here. We've got it. We've got the advantage. We should be c-betting at least half pot. It's a 3-bet pot. We've got 75. We could probably go down to maybe like a quarter or 33% pot. So this would be 13, maybe doing 8, maybe 9. I did 10, which I think it's decent. I mean, if he doesn't have anything, he's going to probably fold to 13 just as frequently as he folds to 10 or 9 or 8. So I bet that he calls. And now the question is, what is he calling with? I think he does call with the set. I actually think he probably raises with the set. And I think he raises with 2 pair. He's got to be concerned about the diamond draw. I think he has to be concerned with the diamond draw. I think top pair probably just calls, middle pair. I think some of these pairs call, and then I think he has the draws. Maybe not 2-card backdoor, but I think flush draw, open ender. We could say maybe he has bottom pair. Maybe he has the 9. And he's just calling because he doesn't believe us. Same thing with like a pocket pair below the board. Maybe he's calling because he doesn't believe us. He'll know. I think he's not going to call a second one with those bottom pairs. A second bet with those bottom pairs. Now moving forward, I think diamond's going to be a bad card for us. I think if a diamond call comes, we probably continue betting. We're betting more as a bluff. Because I think it's going to make ace and queen hard to call. They're going to be worried that I actually have the diamond. If they have like their own diamond, king queen with, you know, a king of diamond, or maybe a queen of diamond. I think they're going to call, but I don't think we would change it. So king, speaking of the king of diamond, it comes out. So now that eliminates. So we know we don't have ace x diamond out there. We know we don't have like a king jack, king queen of diamond. There could be like king queen offsuit with a queen of diamond. But you don't have queen jack. You would have to have queen 10. At best, you would have queen 10 of diamond. So this is, I think the chance that he has a flush draw or a made flush is going to be much, much less here. Much, much less. Yeah, it's possible that he has them, but we have quite a few blockers. Well, we've got the jack blocker, which is going to really hurt because remember, he raised and then he called. All right, so I think we fire again. We fire out our bet. I think we're firing out our bet. We're going to use that as semi-bluff. Yeah, these are all semi-bluffs. Minus the ace jack. We're going to get a little bit of value with that. Top pair. I think we are turning these pairs into our bluffs. So we are definitely getting out of balance in terms of we've c-bet 100%. We're firing barrel 100%. I just think this board is really helping us. I mean, we have the nut advantage and we could have all of those. The diamond doesn't help, but again, we have a blocker, and I think that's pretty significant in this hand. So I bet 20, not quite half pot. And he actually raises here. So the question then becomes, whoops, what is he raising with? Is he raising with the flush? Is he raising with the draw? I mean, he's got the flush, so what I can do is actually say, we know it's not queen jack of diamonds, and we know it's not jack 10 of diamonds. We know that. Would he raise? Well, I bet 20, he raises the 20. This almost seems like maybe it's a straight. But again, with the jack 10, we have a blocker here. We have a blocker. So maybe it's two pair, maybe it's top pair, maybe he's just bluffing it with his own draw. So we're gonna leave those diamond draws here in his range and say he's got something like this. Nothing. Yeah, he could have the flush. I'm gonna exclude the straight because we've got the jack, and I think that's just what we should be doing. So then it comes back to us. What do we do? Do we call? I think we call with our diamond draws. I think we call with those. I think the 10s we also call. I don't think we call with the rest of our weak hands. And probably not our weak pair. Probably not our third pair. The middle pair is the king. Probably not. I think we're going to probably be behind. And top pair is going to be hard to call. I think the only time we get top pair is if it's going to be part of this flush draw. Yeah, so two pair sets. I think even two pairs is going to be tough. I think we call two pair, we check, and depending on what he does, if he bets again, we probably have to give up two pair. But I think two pair is too strong to call at this point. So I think that's how we played. Do we ever raise? No, I think if we have the made flush, I think we're just gonna call and try and hope that he bets again, because if we raise, he's just gonna fold. He's gonna say I must have the diamond and get rid of it. So I don't think we're gonna raise, and I don't think we're gonna do with the straight either. So we did call. Turns a 10. Yeah, turns a 10, gives us a straight. There's a chance that he has a flush, but I think what we're going to do is probably just check call. If I bet, we're effectively turning. We are making some value, but it's going to be hard for him to call without the diamond. So if he calls, he probably has the flush. And I think we've got a little bit more value by checking in, hoping he bets to try to bluff his missed flush draw. I think we're going to fold our 2 pair. I think we're going to probably fold our set. So I think we would be calling a straight or a flush. Now I lead here, and I'm not sure if I like that lead. But I mean, that is all in for me. So, you know, perhaps I'm going for a really, what you could say, thin value. That might be the word. With the straights and the flush, hoping that he calls the tier. What could he call? Yeah, maybe he could call 2 pair. Maybe he could call a set. And maybe those are hands that he doesn't bet that he calls. Okay. Maybe he'll call with probably the straight and the flush. Okay, so out of all of his hands, he's got 35% that he could probably call that we beat. I guess I'm optimistic, but the bet's small enough that I think, yeah, he probably calls with 2 pair in a set. It's my all-in for 25. And I didn't catch that on the turn. You know, I bet 20. He raises, min raises. I probably could have just shoved at that point. I'm committing myself. So I actually do kind of like that bet. He calls. He shows ace king. He shows actually 2 pair. I didn't have ace king in his range. I assumed he would have raised, but if we change that now, we're looking at, you know, about 50-50. I think these hands probably just check behind, but they also just call. So we're gonna take some notes on him. Make sure we get it, get it down. Make it known that he raised pre-flop. So raise limper on button, and he did 3.5. Let's do raise 3.5 on button. First limper, call, SB 3-bet, 12 big blind with ace king of clubs, and then he just called, raised, min raise, and then call on a ace of diamonds, queen of spades, 9 of diamonds, king of diamonds, 10 of hearts. All right. Yeah, so what would I do differently? I think turn would be the only one. I think we had a decent call. I think we narrowed our range on the call. 2 pair and sets might be a little optimistic in calling there. But I think we had the draw. I think when we called, we are committing. And I like the call better because we are going on the draw. And even if we had the made flush, I think we just kind of shove on that river because I think it's going to be hard for anyone to fold 25 in a 125. So we're, I don't know, a fifth, 1/5, 20% pot. It's going to be hard for anyone to fold. So even with our good hands, I think we call the turn, and then we could just lead that river expecting to get called by like hands like 2 pair of sets. And I think 2 pair and sets probably just check behind. Maybe even a jack, maybe just checks behind on the river to get to showdown. So as it turned out, I think the hand actually turned out pretty good. It's interesting once we look at the ranges, how he still had the sets in 2 pair. Didn't really consider that. I kind of assumed that if we bet, he's only going to be calling us with the flush. But depends on the bet size. So our bet size of 20%, yeah, I think he's going to call with these hands here and give us some value. So in the end, it works out. we won the hand, and I'm glad. So hopefully you enjoy this hand. If you do, look tomorrow for another.